Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 109 for November 1st, 2023. I am Nemesis, and I am joined, as always, by Alcatraz.
Hello.
Yeah, November here, which means the spooky times are now over, and now it's time for, oh no, Jingle Bells and Mariah Carey, and...
Because everyone skips Thanksgiving.
Because everyone skips Thanksgiving, because all Thanksgiving is good for is, eating food and trying to avoid your relatives, horrible talks. You're trying to avoid all the very minefield-laden topics that you come up with Thanksgiving from because you're
Your
less
entire
than savory family.
Yeah, your entire family's not great.
Anyway, in anime news stuff, there wasn't really a whole lot that happened over the last few weeks, at least nothing that I really caught. One thing that actually was kind of a little pleasant surprise, apparently Crunchyroll just quietly added the Nijigaseki OVA this week.
Interesting.
Just in the middle of the night, just kind of, here it is, just quietly, no announcement, just kind of put it on there. It's like, all right, finally I can watch it.
The Sega Saturn release type.
Yeah. No, that was it's out now.
It's out now. And people who missed that one announcement just randomly will go in the store and wait.
It's out?
There it is.
Yeah, and there's no games for it because all developers are shocked too. Like, what do you mean it's out? We're not done making the games.
Oh, Sega.
And then PlayStation just went $2.99 and left. That's all their press comment was, $2.99.
Yep.
Well, whoops. Anyway, we're not here to talk about old game console wars. We're here to talk about the new anime for the fall season.
At least some of them.
Yeah, some of them, because, once again, 4 picked at mostly random, and first 3 episodes of each, and that's what we're going to do. So, we got some picks.
Yes, we did.
Not the most ideal picks, mind you.
They could have been better,
Yeah,
right? I think
some of them
we'll
are not
start out.
Yeah. So we'll just go ahead and, I guess, dive right into it. The first one that came up was Shangri-La Frontier. And in this one, it's basically, it's a VR game. It's what they call a god game, essentially.
God tier game.
God tier game. Because, you got Rakuro Hizutomi, who he plays a lot of what they call trash games. Basically, that's lesser made trash, VR games and whatnot that are like laden with bugs and cheap BS and so on and so forth. He's just apparently there's a group of people, they call them freaks, that just really like to play these really bad games and beat them just for the sake of saying they can do it.
Yep.
And he's just like that. Any which way, after all this, he's looking for another one. He goes to a game store called Rock Roll. Just Rock Roll, no N, okay. Owned by Mana Iwamaki, who suggests, hey, why don't you try this new one called Shangri-La Frontier? This is not one of those trash games. This is an actually good one. Any which way, he goes ahead and tries it and jumps into this game, and because of his skills he had developed in these trash games, he's really good at this game. Because, he's beaten, unpredictable, broken bosses and whatnot, and here, that's actually all works you'd expect it to.
Yep. And
there's a girl named Rei Saiga, who, by the way, he has a huge crush on him. And she also plays the game, except she's a max level, super amazing, ultra god character in this game now because she's part of this guild.
Yep.
Right? In the game as well, he starts playing the game. He winds up, because of his class, he winds up spawning in the woods instead of the town. He's doing this weird thing where he's trying to min-max, so he's got no armor. He's kind of like a glass cannon initially because of that. He winds up wandering away from the first town and skipping to the second town. And he beats a boss he should not be able to beat yet because skills. And Ray was trying to find him, so she was sitting around the first town. And then he winds up encountering a colossi, one of the colossus of the game. It's a big old wolf guy. It turns out they've never been beaten. They're in the game, and they've never been beaten. People don't even know how to get them to spawn.
Yeah, because apparently there's a class of enemies that are unique monsters. There's only one of them. So it runs into one of those.
Yep, only one of those. One of each of those. And there's 7 of them. And he encountered one and he got his butt kicked.
Yep.
But then that's when he got the curse from it, which affects things. Which now he can't wear any of the armor anyway. So, okay, he's now, a guy with a bird mask and a pair of shorts. Anyway, which way he also winds up encountering something called a mule, a weird bunny thing, because of his apparently has a high luck stack probably, and so one of his unique quest which is way over his level.
Yep.
And that's more or less where and he winds up in this little rabbit world, and that's pretty much where the third episode ends. It's a thing where it's like, okay, this enemy is an odd one, because like, okay, it's that weird thing, that weird genre, like Pioneer, but most people think of like Sword Art Online, which is like, it's the VR game, which is kind of like, it's a kind of an isekai, but not really,
right?
In its presentation. So like, it's most of the anime takes place in the virtual game world, but there are scenes in the real world, so it's not like they're trapped there or anything.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of Sword Art Online, but
Anyway.
I think one thing in that one is that they're trapped in the game.
That one, I think, it is that you die in the game, you die in real life type of thing.
Yeah, you can't just leave the game.
Yeah, but I've seen other stuff like Infinite Dendrogram, which is the same sort of thing, which is it's a virtual world.
Yeah,
It's an isekai in all but like actual.
Yeah, it's not an isekai, but it follows a lot of same tropes just because of the way it's kind of set up, but not all the same.
Including the pseudo medieval fantasy European thing.
Yeah, I think one of the problems there with it being like isekais is so many isekais tend to throw in the you're in a game thing.
Yeah, this one actually does, because
so.
Has the whole, he's got menus and all that stuff and leveling, and he can
again,
distribute his stats.
You'd expect, because it's a game. Where isekais, you still get those.
Yeah, I mean, you get the isekais where the guy, oh, look, you woke up and now in your favorite RPG or whatever. That's why a lot of it does
wake
it
up
like
in your favorite visual novel.
Or yeah, too. We'll get back to that. But I don't know. The thing about this one is I kind of got some mixed feelings on it. In just a sense of like, I kind of like it, but like, there's some parts that irritate me a little bit. Like, just the whole, this guy, this Rakuro here is just super amazing at the game. He's just super special because just he is.
Just because he has done it for so long.
I don't know. For me, it's just kind of like that weird, of course he's kind of the pseudo, I guess he's going to become the guy who's going to really mess this game up because he's always going to be the first one to beat the...
Yep.
Or something. Or,
yep.
And Ray's still looking for him.
Yeah.
And she's got big old, like, over-leveled armor to the point she actually scares people.
Yeah, because she's, like, top class. Apparently, and she got into that because... So, there's a whole romance subplot with her, and she has a crush on him, but she's too shy.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to talk to him because she's scared to, but she wants to. And apparently the game store owner is kind of playing those two together.
She's meddling.
So she went. So it was a whole. Oh, if you start playing this game, you get good. When he finally plays it, you can be high level and help him out as a mentor, and that could be your in. And that's how she started playing. But then she got completely sucked into the game, and now she's waiting, and he doesn't even know she exists.
Yep, that's a good old thing. So, wondering if she's ever gonna beat him or find him, and he's gonna. I don't know.
They have to.
Eventually.
To. Also, considering she joined the guild that's built specifically to find and kill the unique monster that he just found.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's that connection there.
Yeah, makes me wonder when that's gonna appear. There's definitely characters in the OP and stuff have not actually appeared yet. For example,
right?
But they're obviously going to be important at some point. Oh, right. This one's weird. Also, got some weird little shorts at the end.
Yeah, weird little after credits clips.
It's kind of odd. I'm like, what? Why? Like every episode has multiple like little bits in there. It's like, that's interesting, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it kind of overall. This is, I don't know. It kind of feels generic.
I don't know.
Maybe not generic, but like it's. I don't feel like it's gonna step out of the box much. Yeah. And that's not always bad, but
people seem to really like it though.
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't step out of the box, but it executes everything it needs to well, then I mean, it's perfectly fine. Like I don't feel like there's anything wrong with it. There hasn't been any weird and the word just disappeared. Fan service. Right. I haven't seen any massive fan service yet on it.
No,
at least in the first 3 episodes.
No weird harem-y stuff. No weird slavery weirdness. No.
It's pretty bad that that's the bar, but they seem to have passed that bar so far in the first 3 episodes. So again, it doesn't seem bad. I just If I hear it gets good later, I might keep watching.
Yeah. Also, the other thing is the main character is like it's just a little too. He's actually not
Deus
that
Ex?
as a, you know. It's I think like he has a character. He's not actually that interesting.
Yeah. Well, you can't be because it's got to be empty enough to insert yourself
No,
onto him, right?
not this one. No, I think that little bit of cynicism is misplaced here.
Yeah.
Other ones, oh no, there's other ones that you can definitely throw that one out. Even this season.
Yeah, this guy's got a little bit more personality.
But he's not a very interesting person. I mean, there was that funny bit where we see in the opening he's playing the trash game, and then he hits the princess.
It's the princess because they were the worst character out of all of them.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. Everything is literally your fault.
And anyone who's played any sort of not great game like that knows how that feels.
So yeah, it's just
the escort quest.
Yeah.
Oh
boy, you just intentionally failed this one because you're just shooting the person you're supposed to escort this time because you just hate them because they once again ran off on a cliff or something or ran right into your
God dang
line.
it, Keys, get down. Freaking Captain Keys always running it to the front and getting killed.
It's kind of interesting. I may or may not keep up with it because this season is really packed with stuff I actually want to watch really bad. So
there are other things.
It's kind of very much on the low end of the list.
Yeah, it's low priority to watch. I will say one thing. It was kind of neat going when seeing the game store, seeing all the game titles.
Yeah, all the
using
fake,
real ones.
Yeah, all the fake ones that look a lot like the real ones. And it's kind of interesting. Some of the ones that you see is like one of them is like straight up. That's Life is Strange. Why is that there? That's really weird to see that there because all the ones are like really recent. Life is Strange is kind of old now.
Yeah, I mean they have all the Dark Souls ones too.
Yeah, there's Dark Souls. There's Mario. There was Pikmin.
Yeah,
etc. etc. So
I guess it's just like big names. It's probably just the favorites of the artists.
Yeah, but it's just weird because almost all of those are actually very recent, except for Life is Strange is not. So it's
how much you want to bet that's an artist's personal fave?
That's
the other ones are the ones that they're seeing and aware of.
But I'm just saying that one is really
like,
not only that
like
stands out for two reasons. Not only is it old, it's a Western-made game. Yeah. So it's like that's just kind of interesting. It's there.
Like I say, that just screams the artist really liked that game and wanted to stick it in there.
Yeah. So. But I guess we'll move on as it is.
Yep.
Next one we drew was a bit of one was I kind of groaned a bit when I drew it, which is 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you.
You get all those reallys in there?
Yes, I did. I made sure. So it has Aijiro Rentaro, who's been rejected 100 times. No matter what, we even have the opening where he confesses to a girl and she's talking about how sweet he is, and then immediately says, "But the idea of dating you makes me want to barf." It's like, okay, that's unnecessarily harsh.
The worst you can say is no.
Oh, you think so? You think that?
Oh.
Anyway, Trey, he eventually goes to a shrine and meets the god there who says, "Oh, by the way, you are going to meet your soulmate. Actually, you're going to meet your soulmates." Because he made an error. He gave him 100 soulmates. Oh. Whoops.
Oops.
So he's going to meet 100 girls who are all going to be into him, and they're going to be soulmates. And he's like, I have to. And then he's like, well, I guess they can pick. No, you can't pick. Well, you can pick, but the thing is, anyone you don't date will die out of basically because it's just soul crushing to have your soulmate reject you.
Yeah, apparently there's some universal law about soulmates,
and they'll you'll feel the zap when you meet them.
Yep, and if you don't date them, bad things happen to them.
Yeah, so he's gonna get 100 of them. And in the first episode, he meets two girls, Hanazono Hakari and Inda Karane. Yeah, one is very much a girly girl. Hanazono there is very much a girly girl, and Karane is very much tsundere, like to the extreme. Like they even, reference the fact, wow, she's just really tsundere, isn't she?
Yep.
That's the thing. He runs into both of them. They feel the spark. He feels the spark. And, of course, they're fighting each other because that's how it always goes. And they, fighting each other for him. And eventually goes, I want to date both of you. And they both accept, although, particularly on Tsundere's part, bit of a reservation, shall we say.
Yep.
Although she eventually comes around. So he's dating two girls.
Yep.
And they're still fighting for his affection. All right, fine. I guess they both have the idea that eventually I'll win. He'll dump this other girl, right? Then you get the thing with the vice principal.
Oh God.
That weirdness, which old lady who's incredibly strict, and she was apparently a former sprinter, and she French kisses troublemakers when she catches them, which, yeah.
It
was weird.
I hope that doesn't come back.
It's probably going to come back. She's in the OP.
Oh God, she is, isn't she?
Eventually, though, in the third episode, you get Yoshimoto Shizuka. She's, well, nonverbal. She's, shy, and she's tiny as well.
Tiny, shy, nonverbal librarian.
Yep. She's kind of used to just being alone, but, of course, she experiences the jolt with him, and he, goes out of his way, because she communicates by pointing to sentences in a book.
Yep, she has one particular book that she
wow, that book
memorized.
Sure has a lot of, very good sentences that work in just, so many situations in life. That's weird. Anyway, he translates the whole book into an app for her, so it can actually have speech. Which the weird is the text to voice thing sounds a lot like her inner monologue. Weird.
Interesting. I don't know how that works.
So yeah, it winds up being the third girl is introduced, and he's like, yeah, due to circumstances, can you please let her join or whatever? And it's like. And the other two kind of accept it, although actually one accepts it, the other was like no, and then finally she also accepts it. So that's where the third episode ends.
Yep.
I will say this: regardless of the actual quality, this anime sure knows how to hold my attention.
Yeah, there's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although sometimes it's. Yeah. How do I put that one? Awkward at times, just watching people just struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the third party embarrassment sometimes gets to me, but that's a me thing.
Yeah.
I know that's particularly a me thing. I will say that it plays fast and loose with seriousness and fourth wall.
Yeah. Very quickly they break the fourth wall, like the god he's talking to at the shrine is talks about the manga, and he's already please, I already have a bit part in the manga, please don't cut it down any further.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Also, my God, those relationships move fast.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Welcome to Soulmates writing. I could tell you all sorts of that stuff.
That's the other thing. It's isn't there a whole genre of AU soulmates thing?
Oh yeah,
isn't that
because they see my OTP totally belongs together. See, they're soulmates. You literally wrote that though. That's the thing. It's basically often it's used as a bit of a crutch. Basically, see, these two totally belong together. I don't actually have to do any of the actual work of making these, pairing these two together because, see, the universe dictates they're supposed to be together.
Yeah.
And of course, others have very much played with the concept itself to varying degrees, including making it's not instantaneous, or of course the good old angst of good old one-sided soulmates, or sometimes just soulmates don't just because you're a soulmate doesn't necessarily mean they're good for you.
Or what about no fate but what you make, and people resisting
that too.
That
very much the whole I don't have to meet my soulmate in order to be happy in a happy relationship,
or just pissed off that the world's decided for you and you're going to rage against it. I know you're not going to make that decision for me, and I'm going to reject it.
Yeah, lots of that.
Simply on principle. No fate but what we make.
So a couple things about this, which is the vice principal is weird because this is a weird one because that sort of character is unusual for one.
Yeah,
just a female sex predator.
Yeah.
But also the interesting thing is the characters acknowledge what she's doing is wrong and illegal.
Yeah.
They try to use that against her. It's you do it. Oh look, hey police, come here, and then she runs away.
Yeah.
So she's fully aware what she's doing is illegal. So that's refreshing. They don't just kind of laugh it off. It's actually it's a thing that's acknowledged as bad.
Yeah. I just hope they don't do that too much because it's still really creepy.
Yeah, because the whole thing was that the whole thing came up because they were trying to have the first kiss, and who gets the first kiss?
Yep. He's if the vice principal gets it, then no one can fight over it, and no one gets hurt by not getting it.
He's willing to sacrifice his first kiss in order to make them. They're no, we don't want that. So they have an awkward three-way kiss. Are we summoning an alien?
Yeah, we got that one. Oh man, that was it. It was my first idea, but I rejected it because that means you two would be basically kissing each other, and I didn't know if you would be up for that. that was his excuse why he was trying to come up with this weird, complicated. I'll randomly pick one without knowing which one it is, and that oh god, that whole awkward.
Yeah, they'd also lead to go, hey, look, the boob grope joke and the accidental, like, oh, what are you doing? It turned out to be, what was it?
Wasn't it like
animal
dog or something? No, I can't remember. It's like a cat or something.
Yeah, some animal showed up, and she thought it was him, and kicked really hard or something. Because, well, you deserve it for, oh, I'm going to kiss you. No, I'm not. Actually, no, it wasn't. Yeah, so that wound up being a old bust, because, like...
Yep.
The other thing I want to point out is the third girl, Yoshimoto, Shizuka there. Apparently that actually literally means something along the line of quiet.
Yeah, Shizuka.
Yeah.
Literally means quiet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And I think Yoshimoto has something to do with reading, so like, yeah.
Quiet reader. Literally, her name is literally Quiet Reader.
But what's interesting there, we get a little bit, that episode is weirdly so actually emotional.
Yeah.
It's the other so one, weird. All the first two episodes is just like almost pure comedy.
Just craziness.
And this one goes really hard into the emotional side of things.
Yeah.
And with her, it's like even like her mother yelling at her, why can't you just be normal? On a lot of these stories, someone like her, they'd have the thing of like, oh, he fixed her because now she's speaking or whatever. And they didn't do that.
Yeah.
It's refreshing. He helped her out, but they didn't have the moment or he fixed her or anything. She's just still nonverbal, but he just accepts that.
Yeah. Yeah. That is one thing I've heard a lot of people say about this. Like, it handles relationships well.
Weirdly well, and yet also...
Weirdly well, but also sometimes...
Not well.
Not well. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I was hoping, because, it seems to be like perfectly poised to be the usual harem nonsense. And, like, the fact that they, were willing to date, both of the girls were willing to date him, like, that would kind of, cut that off. But no, instead they're still fighting for him. And I was hoping that'd be a little more civil.
Oh, yeah.
Between the two, particularly the first two there?
The first two, it's always, they both want him.
Mm-hmm.
Especially that Tsundere really only seems to, I won't say only, but a lot of times goes along with things out of competition or spite against.
Kind of.
It's not.
She's the one who's more hesitant about the whole thing, because she's like, I think she's like, do you have brainworms or something?
Yeah, but then goes along with it because the other one is, and like, oh crap, I can't lose him to her. Is what it feels like.
Yeah, because one of the things I was like sitting here like, okay, he gets 100 soulmates apparently. I was kind of hoping that at least maybe some of the girls would also get multiple soulmates just to, balance it out a little bit at the least, but I don't know. I'm not sure how they handle that necessarily. And then also on top of that, you get the super sentimental thing only to end on a weird punchline of, oh yeah, by the way, this is going to be my third girlfriend.
Yep.
And her, Shizuka there behind him just...
like, oh no, what did I just get into? What am I getting into?
And the thing is, there's going to be at least two more girls based on
the
OP.
There are 5 girls in the OP.
Here's the thing. Apparently, one of the posters for the anime has 6 and 7 as well.
Oh, interesting.
And I looked into this because I was wondering, because like 100 girlfriends, that's insane, right?
Yeah, there's no way they can get 100
Except I'm looking, the manga apparently is fully going into the bit, because leading into the bit, because at this point apparently in the manga they have introduced girl number 26.
Oh geez.
Apparently they are going for it. They are going all in on this. So it's like,
wow,
taking the harem thing to its, I guess, logical extreme. Because someone pointed out, I think I saw someone point out, I was like, how do you continue to make characters that are unique at that point? You're going to run to that wall. This girl's pretty much the same as this other girl.
Yeah. How many? Yeah.
And also, how do the breeders and stuff keep track of all their names? And
I mean, it's hard enough trying to keep track of 9 characters in
a so series. I get it's like the whole idea with the 100 girlfriends is clearly kind of a bit of a somewhat of a parody of harem stuff, but also still does the harem trope straight, so to speak.
Yeah.
But but it's still trying to be a parody of it, but also still trying to be a actual harem thing. It does it better. That's what we mean. I think it means that we does it a lot of it better, but also still falls prey to a lot of the nonsense the harem brings.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a weird one. So I'm sitting there. Do I want to keep watching this or not?
For me, I don't know if I can handle, if it's going to keep doing like the first 2 episodes, a lot of the awkwardness and things like that. If it just keeps leaning into that one and that awkwardness humor, I'm not certain how much I'll be able to keep watching it.
Handle that no problem, but like mostly no problem. Sometimes I have to pause the video for a couple seconds.
Yes. That's something that happens a lot. Yeah. As far as how it handles, because the other one, I've been seeing people say it, praise it for how it handles poly relationships.
It's like, yeah, kind of.
Well, unfortunately, I can't really give a good judgment on that either. Not being one myself. I just like, well, I don't have any super good knowledge on how that's supposed to work, but
at the very least, it's not like
it's not
like the sense like he's not dating them and they're all vying for his affection and he's just completely oblivious. And that's one thing about him as well. He's actually, he's got a personality. He's got a somewhat unusual one for a teenage boy.
Yeah, and he does actually seem to be.
He is
nice.
He's a genuinely like one of the things was like he was like at one point thinking about the idea of trying to date these two girls independently of one another without the other knowing, and then he hits himself like, "What are you doing?
That's wrong.
Horrible."
That's wrong. Yeah.
And also, he's more willing to cry, which again, teenage boys don't like to cry.
Yeah, they're not allowed to. You have to be strong and stoic.
So yeah, it's just one of those things. Where he actually does have a personality.
Yeah. It does things a lot better than the usual. Unfortunately, the usual is a rather low bar once again.
Yeah, but
it does seem to be doing decently. But I don't know.
I think I might at least keep up with it for a little bit. See if it like goes anywhere good or what. Because again, there's still 2 more characters. I don't know. It looks like one of them's a bit of a very much the
silver hair one.
Kind of the not stern, but
the stoic,
stoic,
smart, kind of intelligent,
passive.
Yeah,
and the other one, it looks like some sort of genius gremlin who's also going to be small.
Yep.
But yeah, so we'll see how. I guess I'll see how that goes and I guess maybe report back later. But yeah. Just it's weird.
It is weird.
Because
it's weird.
Like I can't stop. I can't help but look at it. It's like it is holding my attention. And it's like even with my misgivings.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I guess we'll move on to the next one, which is I shall survive using potions. It's Hikaru Nagase who she's just living. She's an office lady living a normal life, and then gets killed by accident by a god, and then he says, "Hey, yeah, I can reincarnate you in this other world, right?" And yeah, it's a place called Verney, and she she makes some demands because this wasn't supposed to happen. So yeah, she feels entitled to a bunch of demands, which sure, fair enough.
You may be entitled to compensation.
You killed me. You killed me because some weird, what was it? Some sort of like breach between realities or something.
Yeah, it's like a rift that opens up, and then they were closing
it,
them, but she got caught in one accidentally because dude didn't see her.
Yep. So she asked this goddess, the Celestine, right, who has a crush on the goddess of her world, or god of her world, because of course. She asked for the ability to read, write, and speak all languages, apparently including animal languages, as she discovered to her horror. Summon any potion she wants and an infinite item box. Turns out the place because basically she's very genre savvy, you see, so she's being isekai'd, might as well make the most of it. She's able to give her a chance to say her goodbyes to her friends and family, and then she goes to this, and also the other thing was be the youngest possible age she can be while still being considered an adult, and also retain her current genetic makeup.
Yeah.
So those are the things. So she shows up, and turns out potions aren't really much of a thing in this world because she kind of misunderstood what kind of world it was. It actually doesn't really do the potions.
Magic and potions, I guess, exist, but are not
very common.
Yeah, they're uncommon, and magic is like really weak or something like that.
Pretty much. Not. It's like, so now she has to hide the whole potion thing entirely, but yeah. And that's the thing. She goes through various kind of isekai-esque adventures. I mean, first she's at the adventure guild and heals someone, then she's working at a restaurant as a waitress, and then she winds up being invited to a royal ball and being, asked to marry, the prince asks her to marry him. And
because apparently she's also super wise because of her time in the more advanced world.
And the other thing, apparently she has quote-unquote scary eyes.
She's got them special eyes.
There's also the other thing of apparently a lot of people think she's a kid because she asked to be which I believe in this world they said something like 15 years old is considered an adult in this world. And that means she is retaining her genetic makeup, which means she's a Japanese 15-year-old girl, which means everyone thinks she's probably 10. which
Although
is why
I could have
everyone's like,
sworn she said something about trying to be 19.
anyway, she just said something about being the youngest possible she could be considered an adult in this world.
Yeah. I think she was hoping for like a 19.
Yeah,
maybe, because I could have sworn that number popped up.
Yeah, so that's what she's probably thinking, but no, in this world, that's like 15. Whoops. So, and on top of this, everyone's probably saying she's 10 because she's Japanese.
Yep.
In a very European-esque world.
Yep, she blends in with all the kids.
Whoops.
Which the other thing, part of episode 3.
Yeah, but there's other thing is at the end of the third episode, she's now going around healing commoners with her potions because, surprise, commoners have not exactly, don't have the greatest life. And
yep.
This anime is, I've used this phrase before, is aggressively mediocre.
Yep.
And when I say that, what I mean is it's going way out of its way to appeal to as many people as possible, and in the process, appealing to nobody. It is going out of its way to, and like, one of my biggest complaints about it is the characters are just so boring.
Yeah, it is boring.
She meets some people. I wrote down their names. They don't even matter, honestly. It turns out, at least so far, they've appeared in one episode. Like, there's a girl who's like, oh, she's like 30-something years old, and I'm all muscular, and men don't want me, so it gives her a potion. Oh, bam! Now she's younger and she's less muscular now. Because of course,
yep.
Because men are cowards. But yeah, the big thing is the main character herself. A lot of it is she's too genre savvy. The problem is often she just lectures her way out of situations or whatever, and it just winds up being boring.
Yeah,
it's just her talking a lot.
Yeah, it's just like a commentary on isekai fantasy world, I guess, is all it is. And not a very good one. Yeah,
it's just the main character's just not interesting. The actual scenarios aren't particularly interesting. It's just everything's trivialized.
Yeah, she has a potion to fix everything. That's the point.
Yeah, because she can make any potion. It doesn't matter. She didn't actually have to make it. She just says, "I want this potion," and bam, it exists.
Yep, it just pops into existence.
It just winds up,
and it's just her using her powers to, help advance
herself.
The world, I guess.
She's never necessarily trying to do that. She's just help herself.
Yeah.
She just wants to be able to survive. That was her whole point.
Yep.
She wanted to have a higher chance of survival.
And to find a nice, quiet life.
Yep.
He rejects the nobles because, doesn't want to.
That was one funny bit I will say is like, she may have accidentally sparked feminism among the noble women. Yeah. She basically, all of them break down crying when they all realize how awful their lives are when she talks about it.
Like, that is actually an interesting point. There is a direction that they could take this, that they've opened up the door for with the third episode,
but they won't.
That I doubt they will actually go to. That could make it good and interesting. They could use it as a commentary for exploring the problems of those worlds and fixing it, and using it as a commentary as the problems that continue into the modern world. I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, they're not.
But they could.
But they're not.
But they're not. They're probably not. And I say that because I want them to prove me wrong. They won't.
That'd be too daring.
Daring today, aren't we?
But yeah, it's just kind of funny. You're seeing the queen just breaking down, sobbing when you realize her entire life is just basically producing heirs and daughters to marry off to other families, and that's it.
Yep. Yep.
And have to be polite to people you don't like.
Yep.
So you don't have an international incident.
I wonder if she's going to cause any.
Oh, probably, but it'll be somehow solved with the potion. It's like, I'm not going to... I don't want to talk more about this. I'm not going to watch it more.
Yeah. Not unless something like, oh, no, it changed. There's a huge thing. It's like,
I doubt it.
But, yeah. Not super interested.
Yeah, so, yeah, we'll just go ahead and move on, shall we?
Move on to the one you actually want to talk about.
The one I picked because I wanted something good. The other one is apparently just generic rom-com. So we got I'm in Love with the Villainess. I've been very excited for this because I've read the light novel. So this is one of those few times I'm actually very well versed in where this all goes.
Yeah, so you can sit down and compare.
Yeah, you had the Onamai way back several episodes ago.
Going through the manga and going,
and I'm like, I have read the original.
I
read the entire series of the light novel, and I've started the spin-off, which is just a retelling of the first book, essentially. But yeah, This stars Ray Taylor, who she reincarnates as the protagonist of an Otome game. She meets the villainess Claire Francois. And of course, she's totally smitten by the villainess. She always has been. And well, one of the first things she tells her is that she's cute and that she loves her.
Yep.
Much to Claire here, who kind of freaks out because, well, what is this commoner doing? This is weird. I don't. Claire tries to bully Ray. Ray not only takes it, but also encourages it. Step on me harder, literally says that. Step on me harder. Anyway, they're in the Bower Kingdom. That's where they are. And there's also, of course, the intended targets of the Otome game, the three princes, Rod, Thane, and Yu Bower, who, of course, show interest in Ray. But, of course, Ray doesn't really return it because it turns out Ray's, well, very, 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 very gay. And
you sure? Yeah. You sure about that?
I'm very sure. Also, she has a roommate named Misha Jur. She's from a fallen noble house. And you have Lene Areso. I have no idea. That's a French name, and I'm scared I just butchered it, but whatever.
I think it is so.
Areso.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to try. It's French.
Yeah. And she's one of Claire's maids because Claire winds up becoming, or Ray becomes one of Claire's maids as well, even though Claire objects, but Ray's able to worm her way in. And yeah, also the end of the third episode gets really heavy.
Really heavy.
So, yeah, there you go. I want to hear your thoughts first before I kind of go off into this, because I can say a lot of things.
All right. So, I mean, it's good. It's interesting. I'm liking it so far. It is very gay. Oh, wait, no, it can't be gay. There's boys in it, so it obviously can't be,
you have
right?
no idea. I said some things about that.
Oh, God. Well, obviously it can't because Claire is obviously not gay and wants to be with Thane. So obviously it can't go that way, right? And Ray's going to have to learn and give it up and yeah, obviously.
It's one of those things I have to sit here and remember, okay, what can and can't talk about, because
you can only talk about the things that have happened in the first 3 episodes of the anime.
There's stuff that happened in the episodes like I'm like, oh yeah, right.
yes. As far as this discussion goes, the light novels are not canon.
I have forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, forbidden. Yeah. I am enjoying it for the most part. I mean, it's good. I don't personally feel any connection to any of the characters quite yet. They're great, and I am interested to see where it goes. The third episode, that one,
Wolf, straight up, are you gay?
And the really deep discussion about being gay. So it's like, God, I know that they exist. The people who are actually going, because I was being sarcastic about denying it. I know that there are people who actually do, and I cannot see how they can after that third episode, because it's just,
oh my God,
just straight up, there was no beating around the bush, there was no,
Ray just says, implying, yeah, I'm gay.
Yeah, it was just, they asked her, are you what they call gay? Or I
suppose so.
And then they had like a good 5-10 minute discussion of what that means and the problems.
Ray's like, yeah, I like women. And women exclusively.
Yeah.
And also gender does matter to me because in that regard.
Yeah, because that was the thing. Well, gender doesn't really matter. And Ray is like, actually, no, it does, because I'll never see myself.
Even had to talk about kind of Claire kind of scooching away from Ray.
And then dealing with that whole thing. Yeah. It's like, would you have done that if Ray was would you have the same reaction if Ray was a guy?
Or the actual reaction of Thane, or like Thane just said, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if Thane asked you to please not touch him because, he's scared of you being a pervert.
Exactly. It's like,
yeah,
it's a really deep discussion.
I'll say this right now: this is not the only one. Not the minor spoiler, but yeah, this story will go into some deep topics. So, yeah, if you're just expecting pure rom-com, you're not going to get pure rom-com. You're going to get some heavy stuff sometimes.
Good. This is a medium that needs to do it. This is a medium that
was a thing
fraught with beating around the bush and implying without ever saying, we really need more that just
or
makes
just
it so
doing
you
something
can't-
really, really homophobic too.
Yeah, either going over
making
like,
them
oh,
super predatory, which there has been there's criticism.
There
Ray
is some
sometimes comes across as a bit predatory, which
she is a bit pushy with her.
I will say this:
affection.
the story does address that eventually.
Eventually,
It does address it.
it
what
does
she
need
does.
to.
And also, there's always some other things, like, for example, Claire, right there at that moment.
Defended
when
Ray.
She defended Ray. There's a thing there where it's like Claire very much starts, like, really seeing Ray for who she is. There's definitely stuff going on in Claire's head at that point.
Yeah.
That's like she's trying to see who Ray really is, and like her on Claire's own behavior and kind of like her feelings on that, and her so I guess the first glimmers of maybe
there is another option.
Yeah, there's stuff that going on there in Claire's head. I'll just say that much.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, it's an interesting point because it does bring up like the two other girls that show up that start mocking her for her feelings and being gay. Dealing with the LGBT discussions and topics within stories. There's like I've seen arguments over how you do it. There's the idea of you have the story where this is normal and everyone, it's just normal.
Yeah.
And we need stories like that.
Yes.
And representation of like, we have to have stories so people know this is normal. But then there's also the stuff like this where it comes up and people aren't quite happy with it. And it goes in topics of that. I think we need both stories.
Yeah.
We need both stories. And this is one of the latter ones where it's
Again,
it seems to, where it's like there's split ideas on how people feel about it. And it's going to bring that up and deal with them.
One of the things about this is a lot of people were actually genuinely worried when the anime was announced, like people who read the night novels or the manga, because it's a manga too, that they cut out the more serious stuff because
that
will go over well with the potential animated audience, right? That was a potential fear, and like this third episode made it very clear. No, it's not going to shy away from it. It is going to tackle this stuff the way the books and the manga did.
As long as it keeps doing it and doesn't just do it once.
That's certainly the way they have everything structured. Yeah, so as it stands, like you got that whole thing. There's the of course we saw Ray beat Claire with the competition they had because both because of kind of chicanery with wording. You did not beat me, therefore I win.
All right. Yep.
And they're telling Claire, don't just promise you will not give up.
Yep, that was her thing.
And there's that whole thing. Also, Ray's magic aptitude, immeasurable,
because she's a special one that has 2 powers instead of just one.
That's a big thing. Well, not just
also
that.
She cheated at the knowledge test because she's played the game so many times.
She says she probably knows more about the game than devs do now.
God, I love that. Or how she deals with Claire's dad, I think it is.
Dole Francois.
Like, oh, Claire doesn't want you, so the answer is no, and she just one name,
one date, one amount of money.
Just very calmly says,
and then
everyone out.
Yep. And then she gets the job anyway.
Yep, she knows things.
She does know things
that she's not supposed to know.
Yeah,
because she's played the game through and through.
Yep. The other thing I want to say is, based on the pacing of these 3 episodes, this season of the anime is going to cover the first novel, which will mean it'll probably have I don't want to spoil too much, but it definitely means it'll have at least a satisfying ending. There's not going to be one of those weird, we're just kind of left with a hanging, just like Bloom into You, just kind of stop halfway through.
God.
And we have not gotten to season 2 yet, which is infuriating.
That is infuriating.
But this will have a satisfying ending. It's not like a complete ending in the sense of like everything's resolved, but it'll definitely have a nice narrative conclusion for it to end on. That's not just kind of, we're stopped. Now, if there's a season 2, we will get a really nice conclusion.
If they follow the same pacing, yeah.
Because the way the books are, there's 5 books. The first 2 are essentially one story, and the last 3 are a second story. It's how they're kind of arranged. They're kind of two major stories divided among the books. So yeah, if they get to a season 2 and able to do that, they're going to have one fully complete story, and they don't have to worry about the rest. And heck, the author was like, Inori was actually like, I wasn't actually planning on going beyond a book 2, but then people really wanted more, so I made more because I did have more ideas. So there you go on that. So if we get a season 2, please. Yeah, so yeah, of course I'm obviously going to watch this. I've been really looking forward to this for a long time, and it delivered. I was worried, but delivered. So far it's been great. It even kind of comments a little bit on the whole isekai thing. It was like, you know, the Japanisms that kind of show up in isekai because it's medieval Europe, and yet why is all this Japanese stuff here? Because Japanese made the game, you dork.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like it. I'm very happy with how it went. I was a little worried, but now I'm really happy, and of course I'm going to watch it and keep up with it. And the one thing I will warn about, there's a couple things in the book, in the story, that I'm a little like, I don't think that was I kind of don't like over the course. One of them's definitely going to appear in this season.
Unless they skip it.
It's too integral to the story that's going to appear.
Oh yeah.
It's one thing I really don't like, and I don't want to spoil it, but I don't like it. And the other thing I don't like is one that's more along the lines. I wish it was just handled a little bit. It was a little awkward. It's kind of stumbling versus this thing that's going to happen in this season. The other thing I don't like is, and it would be in a theoretical second season. But the thing that's going to appear in this first season, it's going to be like, it's definitely something like that really did not need to be there, and I kind of wish it wasn't.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
It's like it's really the one thing that really, it's like, I don't like that. Why is it there? I don't like it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think if you are really liking these first 3 episodes, you're really gonna like the rest of it. So there we go.
Yep.
Personally, really enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm gonna keep up with this one for sure. So yeah, Shangri-La Frontier, might keep up with it. Just it's somewhat got my attention, but like it's still kind of wishy-washy on it.
For Shangri-La Frontier, basically, if it's gonna, for me to consider it good, basically it would have to keep up the lack of harem, and don't go into the harem BS.
I don't think it's gonna do it.
And
probably,
I think that one it's okay on. It would have to not lean into the Deus as much as the Deus Ex on the main character, but what it should really lean on for me personally is the world building. I think they've set up the potential for an interesting world and world building story. I don't know how much they're actually going to deal with that, though.
Right.
The idea of the unique monsters, unique things, and the game progress 0% on that screen, on the computer screen there at the end of episode 3, the empty one. There's a lot of things you can do with that. They can be really interesting.
Yeah.
And I love world building.
Yeah. That one, so yeah, I might kind of keep up with it, but also something on the short list of the could be easily dropped.
Yeah, it's not a high priority. Like, it would have to do those for me to really be interested. So it's got to try to get my full attention. It still has to make it up that hill.
Yeah, 100 Girlfriends, it's the game of like, man, this is all over the place, but I can't look away. So I probably might keep up with that for a while. I shall survive using potions. Oh, that's boring and forgettable. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother.
And of course, I'm in love with the Villainess. Yes,
you're obligated at this point. You're already bought in. You are bought into it.
I bought the light novels and I love them. Yeah. I still need to finish the spin-off for the volume one of the spin-off, but the problem is volume 2 it's out in Japan, but not out in the US yet.
Yep.
That's it for this one, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what we've got for these 4.
Not as bad as it could have been.
Not as bad as it could have been, but from what we heard of the other ones, it probably could have been better.
Yeah, we could have got Shy. We could have got
Freyren. Yeah.
I think it's Freyren.
Freyren.
We could have got a whole bunch of that. Of course, a lot of the other good stuff is also like, it's sequels anyway, so we can't really watch it. Like Spy Family. I'm keeping up with Spy Family because it's...
I need to get watching that.
Still good. Yeah, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can check out other episodes on newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com, spelled Libsyn. Check out episodes on there via the RSS feed, subscribe there, or you can go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts for now, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Podcasts, and search for New to Weeaboo, or click the buttons at the top of the Libsyn site, and subscribe via those ways if you like. If you want to contact us, you can do so via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com. Send us comments, criticisms, or suggestions for anime or what have you if you'd like. You can also follow our various social media. Just go to newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com/contact. We'll all our stuff's listed there. You can contact us on any of those if you'd like. And that's it for this one. Join us next time. We will be talking about Evangelion 1.11, You Are Not Alone.
We're getting into the Evangelion stuff.
The rebuild. We're getting to the rebuilds.
Yes.
Finally.
Because
the fourth one came out on Blu-ray, so we're going to watch them all. Finally. I said we'd do it, and we're going to do it.
Yep, we're doing it.
And we're going to wrap up the end of the year with this stuff. So I was just kind of spoiler alert. Yeah, we're wrapping up the year with Evangelion.
Yep, we're finally getting in that gosh darn robot.
Dang it. Get in the robot, Weeaboo.
Get in the robot.
So anyway, tune in next time for that. We'll see how that goes. We have not actually seen any of them yet, so I have no idea. Even though that apparently the one came out in 2008.
Jeez.
It took them that long to get them all out.
The rebuilds, yeah.
Yeah, tune in then. Hope your November's goes well. Hope your family's somewhat tolerable at Thanksgiving. Or at least you can ignore them.
Are reasonably safe at minimum.
Yeah, so there's that. So all
sometimes
that
that's the best you can ask for.
And also, of course, don't forget to get Christmas shopping done. Or holiday shopping done, I should say.
Yeah.
So, bye.
See ya.